Greetings, everyone. This is Tron, editor-in-chief of Filipino Soul Magazine, aka SGIB Magazine. Stand for Soldiers Got Intentions, Believe That. And everyone should be sorting for something. I put it on the timer. For some reason, the timer didn't work, so I'm just triple checking to make sure it's recording. Stand for Soldiers Got Intentions, Believe That, because everyone should be sorting for something. A dream, a goal, an idea, a train of thought, something. And on the PBG's production, stand for Photos by Gerard, the best in freelance publicity photography. While I'm still in Ayala, Philippines, it's a beautiful day. I didn't check the weather or watch New York weather like I usually do each morning. I got up about 10 o'clock last night. I was up till, well, that's the G. At 10 o'clock, I went to the G hours till like about 4:30. I go downstairs. I got three assholes. Asshole means dog in Bisaya. I bet you can't guess how they say cat. Asshole for dog and pussycat. Pussycat. That's a nice name, right? Pussycat for cat. Okay. And girl is die. Supposed to die. And boy is dong. Dong ding dong. So anyway, now you got your Bisaya lesson for today. So anyway, I worked till like about, went down, fed the dogs. I'm on this kind of special diet I'm trying to do now because I'm trying to lose weight. I don't eat when the sun go down, fasting, and I eat when the sun comes up. So because I like watching the sun comes up, let me turn this down because I don't want to get flagged because of a song. James Ingram, I told you about, I had a $65,000 lawsuit from him once upon a time, but that's another thing. I'll tell you something else in a minute. So anyway, I came back up about the diet I am on is until I don't eat nothing until the sun comes up. First thing I do in the morning is I drink 3 glasses of warm water. I was reading this article by Japanese scientists or health enthusiasts or whatever, but it says that the body was not really designed for drinking cold water. So he says what you should do each morning when you wake up is drink 3 glasses of warm water. And warm water kind of has the tendency of, I guess, flushing out the system. And Lou was saying anything else a lot better than anything else, and it makes sense to me. You know that drinking warm water will keep your blood pressure down and all that other stuff. Rather if Jerry. Whenever I find myself talking too fast, I gotta stop and pause and say the name Jerry. Jerry is Jerry Pittman. He was the first limousine driver in Los Angeles, California. He is a close friend and confidant to Miss Vonny Hilton Sweeney, founder of the pre-Grammy Party, editor-in-chief of Mr. Godfather Soul, Mr. James Brown's magazine called The Truth, that I was the East Coast representative of, and close confidant and manager to him as well. And he's also married to Calamita Pittman. Calamita Pittman, she hosts every year the Rosebud Cancer Awareness Program. I think every October, whenever they have cancer month, breast cancer awareness in honor of her mother. It's the closest event that I know of that you're going to come to, seeing the people that used to come to Bonnie's event gather together as intimate, and that's an important thing to say, as intimate as Bonnie had done for so many years. And we know there's a heaven up above Bonnie. She's teaching people how to love you. We love you, Bonnie. And we know you love us more. Okay. So I don't know if it actually cures all the things that it does, but it makes sense to me. So my regimen now every morning is when I wake up, I drink 3 glasses of warm water. And then you don't eat anything for 45 minutes, which is what I do. And then, of course, my fasting or whatever. I was really kind of disappointed. Like I said, no one else can disappoint you. You can only disappoint yourself. So I disappointed myself by weighing as much as I did. So I'm determined to lose. So I'm trying to do this. So we'll see what happens next Friday. I weigh myself and see if I budge a little bit down on the scale. Okay, well, I haven't posted any videos lately because I told you I want to do the video about the magazine and talk about each magazine that I did. The GoFundMe has inspired me to do it, but I think it's going to be too big for GoFundMe. I think it's just my giving you a video version for my books for my daughters. I have to understand about my daughters. But in order for me to talk about the magazine, I have to talk about how it got started. So in order to talk about how it got started, I have to talk about Kiss FM. In order to talk about Kiss FM, I have to talk about Tanya Simpson. In order to talk about Tanya Simpson, I have to talk to Sandra and her kids. In order to talk about Sandra and her kids, I have to talk about getting out of prison. And in order to talk about getting out of prison, I have to talk about what got me in prison. And then I have to talk about, the times that while I was out of prison, moving too fast. And then I have to talk about Portland. And then I have to talk about my daughters. And then I have to talk about LA. And then now I have to talk about LA, I got to talk about Vonny. And then to talk about Vonny, I got to talk about publications. In order to talk about publications, I got to talk about in the beginning. And when I want to talk about the beginning, I have to talk about my childhood. In order to talk about my childhood, I have to talk about my family. So it's turning out to be a very big monumental task on what I'm putting there. But I'm using PowerPoint because it's all this visual of what I have with me. What's holding me up now, I'm looking for one picture. I'm looking for one picture. And then I feel the whole thing is complete. And I know I have it because when I'm on my desktop, when it's on I sleep or whatever it is, when the pictures flash, I see it. So I know it's in my computer somewhere. So I need to find that one picture. Then I can sew it up and start putting it all together. I got to get it done by the end of this month, which is a few more days, because in the month of February, I want to focus on putting my next issue together, which is my deadline for April. So that means I got to buckle down and knock it out. So that's why I haven't been posting any videos, because the time it would take for me to write everything down and do what I do, it takes away from the time I can be doing that. Enough said. Now I'm in the Philippines and I want to talk a little bit about the president. Sure, I can talk about our president Donald Trump, but you know what? I'll let y'all handle Trump. I'm living in the Philippines and I'm looking at the Philippines. There are a couple of things I saw in the paper. And I told you I wasn't going to pass on any bad news, anything like that. That's my New Year's resolution. So if you send me something to share and it's negative, or if it's something, that deals with the inhumaneness we do to each other, I'm trying to pass positive vibrations this year. That's my New Year's resolution, to pass positive vibrations onto you. But anyway, I was reading the papers that President Duterte has there was a certain area. He is quite a president, and not only that, quite a character. And I say that in the dearest of terms. There was a part of the Philippines, I can't remember the country, the part or whatever, but they had the troops there, and when the troops left, because of the ravishness that went on in that part of the Philippines, the urban poor moved into barracks and all that stuff that the military was staying at. And so President Duterte said, he says, look, he says, we all are in need. He said, let me take care of it. But he says, I'll do it in my time. Just give me elbow room to do it. Which is not asking anything of anybody who's trying to make a difference. Just give them, time to do it. They say they're going to do it, let them do it. But he also said, now, those of you who went in and took over that building, he says, I'm going to let that pass. You guys have that building. I know you're in need, and if you guys already settled, I'm not going to do anything. But don't do it again. He says, if you do it again, I have to send in the police. And then his comment is, if you want to commit suicide, go ahead, I don't care. Which means simply to me that if you want me to send the police in, they're going to move your ass out of there, by hook or crook. And it'd be like committing suicide, because let me tell you, President Duterte is no joke. But speaking about the Philippines, I read in the papers today, and this is for Nina, if you're listening. This is and all the Ukrainians, that the Ukrainian ambassador is courting the Filipino country to open up the visa, to make it a visa-free country, whereas that people from Ukraine can come over freely. You know, because the ambassador says his description of the Filipino people are that they are happy people. And we know from CNN News that the Philippines is the happiest place in the world, so why wouldn't it have the most happiest people? Billy Preston, this is Billy Preston. Man, it breaks my heart when I hear this brother sing. I'm not gonna talk about it. I gotta find a picture of Billy. Okay, so anyway, so and I read in the papers that, did you know that the Ukrainians were the first ones to acknowledge in South Asia Ukraine's independence? Now, do you understand what I'm saying? You understand? Let me try to break it out. Ukraine used to be under Russia. Russia was a communist country, as we all know. You know, we know President Putin is part of the oligarch, or KGB, however you want to say it. So he's communist, and Ukraine used to be under that, and Ukraine had to fight to get its independence. Not only that, they poisoned one of the most prettiest candidates. I can't remember his name, but they poisoned him, and he ended up getting very disfigured, or they threw acid in his face or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but anyway, so when Ukraine got its independence from underneath Russia, the Philippines was the first country in South Asia to acknowledge its independence. So I think that's pretty big. So anyway, Nina, pack your bags, and all of you, Philippines should be your next stop. All right, so that's it. I'm not going to say a whole lot more. You know, I'm just keep doing what I'm doing. Remember, dreams are nothing more than plans awaiting action. Never disrespect the elderly, and always pull someone up. And sometimes you're the only one to see your vision. And the best revenge in life is to live good. And if you haven't got a dream, a goal, an idea, a train of thought, don't worry about it. Do what I do. Get as much you can, as fast you can. And it's Ollie Woodson of the Temptations once sung, if you have a woman, treat her like a lady. Diamond, am I treating you like a lady? Oh, I'm not going to wait till I answer, because I know what she's going to say. And if you're lucky enough to have a good man, it reminds me that the video with Biggie and Sean Combs, when me and my bitch, when it's on me and my bitch, he says, hey, would you kill for me? And she he says, why it take you so long to answer? Why it take you so long to answer? So anyway, you gotta listen to that song. That's what that just reminds me. A simple question, yes, no, you know. But anyway, if you love ladies, if you're lucky enough to have a good man like me, make him feel like a king. And remember, I always love you more. We got a couple of good things coming up this month. We have my motivational speaking in a school on February 23rd. We also have Diamond's birthday party coming up on February 17th at Icon, and also one at our home. We also have a model shoot coming up on the 4th for the cover. I finally decided what I'm going to put on the cover. I'm not going to let it out, but I got a cover idea in mind that I'm about ready to put down on February 4th. And with that, I think that's just about it, other than a couple of small projects going on. So remember, I love you like a love song, baby. I'll talk to you later. Peace.